All right, so here we go. This is your guided practice. This is what I suggested you should work out on your own first and then watch the video to check and see if you got it right. I'm going to write my PEMDAS up here to help me remember my order of operations. So let's find the value of each expression. Remember, an expression is like an equation. It just doesn't have, well, I say it doesn't have an equal sign. These do. But there's not a variable out there. So technically, we're just looking at this. Hope that makes sense. All right. So anyways, let's look right here at number 1. Let's check my PEMDAS. Do I have parentheses? Nope. Do I have exponents? Nope. Do I have multiplication? Yes. Don't have division, don't have addition. I have subtraction. So I have multiplication and subtraction. So according to this, the one that I must do first for this problem is multiplication. So I'm going to use the problem on the paper to show that I multiply first. Drop down my 12 minus, and 12 minus 3 is 9. All right, let's look at this second one. All right, number 2 is 15 minus 4 times 2. So I have subtraction and multiplication. So let's go here, subtraction and multiplication. Up, my multiplication comes first, then my subtraction over there. So let's multiply first. 4 times 2 is 8. Drop down my 15 minus 8. And 15 minus 8 is 7. Now notice on this last one, these are the same exact numbers, except I now have parentheses. So whenever I refer to my PEMDAS, parentheses comes first, so I have to do what's in parentheses first. 15 minus 4 is 11. A lot of people today said 9. Sorry, just had to throw that in there. 15 minus 4 is 11. Drop down my times 2. And 11 times 2 is 22. Over here it says explain why exercises 2 and 3, so why this one and this one have different answers even though the numbers are the same. So hopefully you understand that the absence of parentheses, my parentheses are not in this problem. So that means that I have to follow my PEMDAS and do the operation that comes first out of multiplication and subtraction, which would be this multiplication. But when they come to this problem and put parentheses in it, I have to do what's in parentheses first because that's what my order of operations tells me to do. All right, so let's take a look. Now, this is going to be what you're going to do on your own. I'm going to give you text boxes. If you want to work it out on a sheet of paper, that would be perfect. You could email me a picture of it or upload it if you know how to do that into Google Classroom. Now down here, number 13 threw a lot of people, so let me just give you a heads up. You need to write down, you know you have your parentheses there, drop down what's in that expression so you can then see which operation to pick out of multiplication and addition. All right, looking at this part. Now, this is the bottom part of that same page. Use the order of operations to find the unknown. These look really complicated, but I'm going to work a couple of problems with you on the back that will help you. My main piece of advice is think of your parentheses. Think of your groups first whenever you have something missing in these problems. You're not necessarily going to be able to use PEMDAS directly to solve. You're going to have to use what you know about it. So use these as groups, and that's going to make sense in just a second. All you have to do for these 3 problems is simply give me the correct answer. You don't have to write an equation or an expression, but you can if you want to. Totally up to you. I'll just be looking for the correct answer. All right, so this is what I wanted to do together. This will help you whenever you are missing numbers in those problems on the front. So here it says use each of the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to put them over here. Exactly once. So I can only use these once. So I'm going to mark them out. Use each of the numbers exactly once in the equation below to make the equation true. So what we want to do, let me zoom in on this a little bit, see if I can. It's 57. All right, there we go. What we want to do is we need to fill in these numbers. Let me rewrite these over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need to rewrite this, fill in the blanks so that I get 10 right here. Now, this is what I mean by looking at your parentheses as groups. Instead of worrying about the numbers that go in here first, let's think about this group and this group. Now, what are we doing to my two groups? I'm adding my two groups. So let's think about this. If I'm adding my two groups, if I'm adding two numbers, what are two numbers that I can add together to get 10? Today, who was it? I think Lakin maybe suggested that we use 6 and 4. Now, keep in mind, these 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the numbers that I have to use in my boxes. So right now, since I'm just thinking about what my answer for this multiplication problem and what my answer for this division problem would be, I don't have to worry about these numbers yet. So think about those ways to make a 10. I could do 1 plus 9, 2 plus 8, 3 plus 7, 4 plus 6, 5 plus 5. All right. Now, out of these, all of these were mentioned, but I think Lakin or Tate one. Lakin mentioned this combo first. So let's try this. So he said, let's make this group equal to 6, and let's make this group over here equal to 4. Because if I can get this group to equal to 6, and if I can get this group to equal to 4, when I add them together, I'm going to get 10. So can I use these numbers right here? Can I use two of these and multiply them to get 6? Yes, I can use 2 times 3. So, okay, I've used those, so I can't use them anymore. So that does give me 6. Over here, can I use 1 and 4 to equal to 4? Yes, I can. I can say 4 divided by 1 gives me 4. So I've solved my problem. But let me explain to you how this works. If I had, wait, let me make sure how I put this. If I had 2 times 3 and 4 divided by 1, 2 times 3 is 6. Drop down my plus sign. 4 divided by 1 is 4, and 6 plus 4 is 10. That's why I say to find your groups, what your parentheses needs to be before you worry about the individual numbers in each of the blanks or in the missing blanks. All right, let's look at this next problem. Find possible unknown values. Let me clear this. Find possible unknown values to make the equation true. All right. Now, I don't have a limit of numbers like they give me earlier. I can use numbers more than once. So this is a little bit more relaxed than the other one was. But still, I want you to consider what the parentheses need to equal before I worry about those boxes. Now, so let's ignore this parentheses right here. Let's ignore this parentheses right here. I've got to add this number, this answer, and this answer. I've got to add those two to get to 15. So what are two numbers to get that can get me to 15? I believe the first thing that was mentioned for this problem was 10 and 5. All right, so 10 and 5, yes, gives me 15. Now let's kind of go backwards and let's see. Okay, what can I put in this set of parentheses that could possibly give me the 10 I need? Yep, I can use 10 times 1, 5 times 2, 2 times 5, 1 times 10. That will give me the 10 I need. And then over here, what can I divide by 2 that will give me 5? Remember, work that backwards. If I work it backwards, my 5 times my 2 is 10. So now my problem works out because I looked at my groups and said, okay, I know that 10 plus 5 will give me 15, and I worked it backwards. So 5 times 2 is 10 here. 10 divided by 2 is 5 here, and whenever I add those together, equals to 15. Now, explain why there is explain why there is more than one possible answer. So, give that a thought. Why do you think there's more than one possible answer to this problem right here? Think about how we started by looking at the groups. Why is it possible for there to be more than one way to solve this problem? I could have used 10 times 1. I could have used, let's see, I could have said 9 plus 6, so I could have divided 12 by 2. So explain why there is more than one possible answer. We're going to say there is more than one possible answer because there is more than one way to find a sum of 15. I can add 10 plus 5, or I could flop it and do 5 plus 10, or I could say 9 plus 6. There are so many different, 8 plus 7, so many different combinations to find that sum of 15, and that is why there is more than one possible answer to this problem. Now, we're not going to do number 23 simply because this is going to be enough as it is. I hope these examples have helped. Before I shut down this video, I do want to, okay, there it went. I thought I lost it there for a second. Let's go right there. Sorry. I want to talk to you about homework. I am going to give you this homework helper. Just walks you through an example using your order of operations or your PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Homework tonight is only 1 through 6. So you'll work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you will use your PEMDAS. So, Brody, I hope this has been a pretty easy lesson for you. Like I said, we have talked about it before, but if you get stumped, if you get confused, if something's not working, you just got to let me know as soon as possible. Now, during the day, I'll be teaching, so I may not be able to get to you right away, but I promise you I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. If something's not working, don't just sit there and, whenever you come back, say, oh, well, it wouldn't work. We can't do that because we're going to have a test on this on Monday, which means you'll have to test on it whenever you come back. And by the time you come back, we're going to be in fractions. But don't stress about that. I got you. We're going to make it through it. I just say that to say you got to stay in contact with me if and when you need help. That way I can help you, because help now is better than trying to undo everything later. All right. Well, I miss you, bud. I'm going to post these assignments in Google Classroom. So you'll have your lesson, which are the videos that you've watched. you'll have your classwork, and then you'll have your homework. Today's enrichment was for Miss Elkins, and so you'll have to see what she's got for you on her end. But I miss you. Let me know if you need anything, bud. Bye.